As being a series of frames that you are using to interfere with your opponent's progress as they move through passes. My first layer of guard, my longest range, is my feet. As he moves closer, it becomes my shins, then my knee. So I've got feet, shins, then knee. As he gets past my legs, my hand would be the farthest range. The next would be my elbow, and the closest will be my ribs when I've still got like an overhook. So those are kind of the layers, even though I know this doesn't seem like it's still a guard, but as long as my hips are mobile, I am still effectively preventing him from like just attacking me. He still has to solidify the guard pass. So for the purposes of today, we're gonna view the guard as anything short of me being, pinned flat like this. All right, which is just, it's a frame of mind thing that's gonna help you. So like just to start to think of guard retention a little bit differently. Because when I originally was like learning this stuff, it was, this is my guard, and this is side control. Again, once you get past my legs, that's it, it's side control. Now I'm escaping side control. Whereas what I want to try to convey to you guys is there are so many more layers between you being here and you being here that you can still use to affect guard retention. All right, so those are our layers: feet, shins, knees. Then once he gets past my legs, hand, elbow, ribs. Those are the layers of guard. And then you want to have, again, just like a sort of switch in your mind as to what the guard is in terms of how you play your guard. There are 3 phases of guard. The first phase is the engagement phase. So let's say Scott's like standing up. Right now, we don't have any grips on each other. This is the engagement phase. If I get in here and I get my grips, I get to play my guard. If he gets in, like gets a pant leg grip and starts to move around my guard, and I don't have good grips, he won the engagement phase, he immediately gets the pass. So and this is one of those things that is, in my opinion, not trained often enough. A lot of people, you start rolling, you're like, and you just have hands, and there we go. We agreed to have a neutral engagement phase and then play from the guard. Which again, that's fine if that's what you're working on, but especially for competition, it's really important to have like situational drilling, situational rolling, where you're practicing winning the engagement phase. I get my grips, I get my guard. Whether it's starting from standing and working on guard pulls, or even like a lot of times, you're gonna have a match where somebody breaks the distance and then comes back in and is trying to get favorable grips. And if they can just get their grips and bypass their guard, you're pretty screwed. So we wanna make sure that you know what phase you're in. So engagement phase is when we don't have any grips, and there can either be like an instant, dominant grip for me as the guard player, or instant dominant grips as the guard passer. The next phase is, provided he doesn't just like pass my guard right away, is what we call the maintenance phase. So if I've actually like got grips on, I've got some kind of guard set up, I'm maintaining my guard, and this is the phase where I can attack. I can attack because he doesn't have any dominant grips, he hasn't broken my grips, I can destabilize him, break his structure, break his base, break his posture, then I can attack. And then the third phase, which is what we're going to work on mainly today, is the retention phase. So if any of you are familiar with Jason Scully, he has a YouTube channel, really good instructional stuff. He uses the term headlights, so I kind of ripped that term off from him. If you kind of draw a line out past your legs, this is my point in my headlights. As long as he's in my headlights, I can attack. Once he's outside my headlights, I have to be 100% on the defensive. There aren't, other than like that sacrifice baseball choke, there aren't really attacks from the retention phase of the guard. All you should be focusing on is getting your opponent back into the maintenance phase of the guard. So again, for today, we're going to be working on the retention movement. So we're going to go through a few different basic concepts, and hopefully it'll set triggers for you so that you know when do I do what. Because generally speaking, you're using your guard, you're attacking, and all of a sudden somebody starts to get by, and you get into this kind of like panic, you're like, oh shit, just hip escape, you're not kind of sure what to do sometimes. So we're gonna hopefully today create a formula so that you know when this happens, I do this, when this happens, I do that. Kind of makes sense, right? Cool, okay, so let's